Carpet Extra adds a unique game rule called renewable sand, which makes it so you can have, when an anvil hits cobblestone, it turns it into sand. This presents a unique challenge for making a sand farm because pistons cannot push an anvil, but they can push falling block entities. So if I were to move this down so the anvil would start falling, it would turn into a falling block entity. Then I could push it up with the slime block and then swap it out for cobblestone so it would hit the cobblestone, making sand. Let's quickly show that. First of all, I'm just using a command block for an example for like putting cobblestone in place. First of all, we will have this piston extend, temporarily pulling down this piston. While it's in movement, it does not make a signal, so that allows us to have a very quick temporary pulse for our usage of pushing down and then up the anvil. We can see that the anvil is now a falling block entity if you look in the bottom right of my screen. We then use the slime block to push it upwards, and then we can swap out the slime block for the cobblestone, and when the anvil hits the cobblestone, we have sand. And then the sand can do its thing and just destroy itself on the slab. Here is a very simple implementation of that, where we have a single cobblestone generator, and then we have just that hooked up to an observer on the thing, and we automatically make sand. This is good for if you are playing a survival on by yourself and you want to have TNT for some projects, but this is a way to technical Minecrafters use a lot of sand for use a lot of TNT, so we want to have a lot of sand for our things so we can stop duping. This outputs a measly, if we look at our counter, a measly 2,399 sand an hour, which is not enough. So I maximize the size of the farm to my limit. I know someone else could do better here. Instead of in order to make it one wide tileable, because this setup is not, you have to have at least 4 blocks in width for the whole cobblestone contraption, where it pulls down and pulls up with the slime block. This is one wide tileable because it pushes the anvils to the side, then up, and then over to hit the cobblestone again. This is a nice way of tiling the design. We have just another zero-tick thing for maximizing the output of the cobblestone generator. So let's quickly look over this step by step. Tick. God damn it, tick. Freeze. So, oops, fuck. So first of all, we need to pull the slime blocks out of the way because the anvils are sliding on this honey, which makes them actually partially inside of this block. So if they hit a full block, like the slime block, they're gonna just break themselves. So we have to have a double piston extender here for the slime blocks. We have an observer that hooked up to the pushing of the cobblestone, allowing us to push up our cobblestone. And just for a moment, we have the cobblestone itself on its own. We don't immediately have the anvils and the cobblestone hit at the same tick, because if I did that, then it just wouldn't convert into sand. So in the very next tick, it converts into sand, all of them land, and the sand and anvils start to fall. The sand falls first, and then the anvil starts falling one tick later, and then we can push over the anvils, and then that allows them to be detected by this string with the observer powering this block, powering the slime blocks here, pushing the anvils upward, and then we have a little bit of delay on the same detector going up to this piston, pushing them over back down to the same area. They are pushed directly against the honey blocks just to give us a little bit extra time for the sand to generate. And then the process happens again. Now, I'm not the best at redstone, so this isn't optimal. I couldn't quite figure out how to allow my two separate groups of sticky pistons to have two different push limits, so I couldn't manage to hook up the center here. And for that reason, I'm just not going to have the world download until I figure that out. But we can estimate the true value of our thing once we're done. The setup currently has a output of blue of 2,309, approximately 2,400 sand per hour. So we have 10 total generators here, so we would have 11 if this was fully maxed out. So then if we have that, we can say equals 23996 divided by 10, so we have 10 current generators, and then times 11. So if I actually got the farm properly set up, we would get 26,000 sand per hour. That is fairly good, and this design could be extended a fair bit and mirrored on itself for further expansion. I feel like this is the best, and next video I'm going to show this finalized and hooked up into a auto crafting TNT system.